All right, guys, welcome to my channel today. This is the Addmotor SPYTAN that we've all been waiting for. So I've been waiting, I think 3 months for this thing now, so it's finally here. This is a good looking bike. When I first saw this bike, I actually thought this thing looked like a mobility chair. I was a little hesitant about it, but this thing is really nice looking in person. I was impressed when I got it out of the box. I went, wow, I actually like this thing. So a little slow for me. This thing unlocked does about I don't know, 13 miles an hour, something like that. But there's a good reason why it only does 13 miles an hour, and we will get into that. Anybody that's thinking about buying one of these, hold off. Let me have this thing for a couple of days and take a good look at it, give it some rides, and we'll address my issues with it. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to give you guys a quick look at it now. We're going to walk around this thing. I'm not really going to go in depth. We'll have another one when we do the review on it. We'll get in depth on it. But I just want to give you guys a walk around because most of you people haven't even seen it yet. All right, guys, so here's the SPYTAN. A little closer look at this thing now. Some of the things that I've noticed on it, the rack on the back it's got no holes in it, so you can't put a basket on it, so you're kind of stuck with what you got here. So just be aware of that. This thing has a 7-speed on it, and the gears on it with this crank on it. The crank is very small. I don't even know what that thing is, but it's super small on it. And this thing ghost pedals pretty fast. I don't even know why they didn't make it a 1-speed because it's that bad. It has a good Atlas derailleur on it. The battery on this thing is a 20-amp battery, which is great. You have to wake this thing up after it sleeps. It does have a directional and a brake light on the back and a running light, which is great. The seat on it is the typical seat where it feels like you're getting pushed off, at least I do. It's very comfortable though. I just don't like that I'm getting pushed off feeling. Bike folds for whatever that's worth. I mean, it'll take up less room. You're not going to put this in your car, I'm going to tell you that right now, because this thing is pretty big. I did not put their basket on the front. I put another basket on it I may put a larger basket on this thing. I don't like their huge basket that they have on it. I just don't like it. It doesn't appeal to me at all. And when they put the wood on it, to me, it made it even worse. So I put the small one on for now. It gives me a little bit of a bumper, and just in case I hit something, so that's good there. And it still gives me some room to put something in. The geometry on this bike, which we thought was going to make this bike go pretty decent down the road, isn't seem to be working as well as I thought it would, and we'll get into that later. Like I said, there are some things on this thing that I do not like. I actually wanted to return this, and they did finally agree to take it back, but they want me to pay between 10 and 30% stocking fee on this thing, and I got to pay the freight to get it back to California. So by the time I'm done, I'd be better off buying this thing. So in other words, if you think you're going to return this, you've got a 15-day leeway on it. Yeah, it's going to be on your dime, so just be aware of that. If you buy this thing, it's not something that you're probably going to return. It just isn't worth it for me to return it. Probably cost me anywhere from $800 to $1,000 to send this bike back. So I'm going to get back $1,000 on it. It just doesn't make sense. I can get that used probably on Facebook Marketplace. So I'd rather go that route if I'm not going to keep this thing. I really have mixed feelings about it right now. So I don't know what I'm doing with it. So like I said, don't be in a rush to buy this thing. Let me review it over. I'll give you my honest opinion on it, and I'll let you know what's going on with it. We're going to take it for rides. I'll show you all that stuff. Like I said, I'm just trying to take you around the bike right now and show it because no one's really seen this thing in person. It got the telescoping bars, and they fold down and everything. Again, be better for storage. You're not putting this thing in your car. The brakes, even though they're cable pull, they work pretty good. So, I do have hydraulic brakes that I am probably going to put on this thing if I'm going to keep this bike. I don't know at this point. I did put the mirrors on it. They didn't come with that. It does come with a bell, which is kind of neat. That's into the brakes, and I like that. I may actually replace just the front brakes with hydraulic on this and leave the rear brake with the cable pull. Like I said, they work pretty good. The brakes are not an issue on this thing. They are cable pull, so they work like cable pull. Like I said, the bike is well done. Could use independent suspension on this thing. I don't know why. I mean, cost wise, I guess it would bring up the value of it. But I have to tell you, I looked on Amazon. You can buy the A-arms, you can buy the shock and everything for less than $100 for this thing. So that's an option for me. I may convert it into a full suspension front end. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go that far with this bike because it's a slow bike. So even if I get this thing riding nice, I still can't ride it fast unless I got a controller off another Addmotor or something that could make this bike go faster. At the present time, I don't even feel comfortable driving this thing at 12 miles an hour. Let's put it that way. And I've been being told by the company that this is normal for this bike. I do believe there's a lot of complaints going in. This thing is not stable at all. So that's why I'm saying if you're looking for a trike, this might not be the one because it's very tippy. And I'm going to show you a little sample of what this thing does so you know. But again, I'm not judging it quite yet. I want to spend some time with it. I want to try different things on it. I have tried a couple of things. I took the seat off. I sat on the rear rack to try to see if that would make a difference. It would lower my weight down lower. It didn't work. It actually made it worse. I found that if I stood up and put my weight towards the front of the bike, it actually was better. So I guess the weight should be forward. I did hear from somebody that I've been communicating with that has bought one of these also. He has not got it yet. That he was told to make this bike stable, we got to put 70 pounds on the front of it. I'm gonna try putting weight in it to see what happens. Again, I'm just doing a walk around on this bike. I'm probably getting too in depth. So you got your 7-speed here, which might as well be a single speed because it ghost pedals right away. This button here locks the throttle in and out. You got a pretty nice screen on this. You've got your directionals. You've got a horn on this thing. And like I said, I put the mirrors on it. You got the little bell here that's kind of nice. Wire management's been done good. I like the whole setup. I like the bike. I just wish it was what I bought, which this is not what I bought. I bought a bike that was very stable, and this bike is not very stable. So I got issues with that. Like I said, I've communicated with the company. They are aware of it, and I don't know. Basically, like, too bad. That's the way it is. They're calling it a benefit that this thing can ride on 2 wheels. It's one of the features of it that it's able to ride on 2 wheels. So do what you want with that. And I'll actually put the email that I got saying that because it's just, I can't believe that they would say something like that. All right, guys, I'm going to show you what this bike is doing. I'm not going to be going over 7 miles an hour on this bike in the beginning. In fact, I'm doing 4 to 5 miles an hour right now. And I'm just showing you that these wheels come off the ground very easily. That's what I don't like about this thing. So that's why I said I'm playing around with weight distribution on the bike. It seems like if I weight the front of the bike, it takes some of this away. So I'm trying to figure out what can be done to solve this. But if you think you're buying this bike as a very stable trike like I did, you're in for a rude awakening. And it doesn't take much to lift this up. I'm leaning into the corner, which should bring that tire down, and it doesn't. This bike, I don't know, it's just got some really weird geometry to it or something that's making this happen, and I don't get it. I've actually been talking to a man that has pretty vast knowledge of geometry and stuff, and he's confused about it too. So we're trying to figure out what to do with this thing to make it less so. But is that our job, or should this job be Addmotor's job? That's why I wanted to get my money back. But I told him I would spend more money, and I would spend another $1,000 if they would trade this bike for another one of their bikes, because I would get the Grand Tan, the expensive one. I just want all my money back on this. I don't want to deal with shipping it back. I'll put it back in the box. They send the truck out, and take this thing and give me my other one, which I would be happy with. But again, you know, just watching how easily I can tip this thing. And yes, you know, they tell me I have to go out and learn how to ride this thing. And once I ride it, this is a feature to be able to ride on two wheels. So if you're looking for a bike that you can ride around on two wheels and pretend you're an acrobat in a circus, this is the one, because I can ride the whole street. I could probably ride all day like this up on two wheels. So maybe that's how we can save on the tires. We'll just put it up on one wheel, and you know, tomorrow we'll do the other wheel. And that way there we won't have to buy tires but half as much for the front of the bike. And that's another feature, apparently. Yeah, I'm making fun of Addmotor. I can't believe that they're doing this to us, you know, selling us a bike that is supposed to be extremely stable, but it's not stable. So I don't get it. Again, I'm going to show you some of the things on this bike, which is turning radius on this thing is horrible. I'm actually going to measure what the turning radius is on this bike so that everybody knows. I'm going to tell you right now, it is 18.5 feet you need to turn this bike around. So that's also a problem if you want to have a, you know, if you take this thing down a rail trail or something, you're going to have to pick up the rear end and drag it around or something, because you're not going to be able to turn this thing on a rail trail, not at 18.5 feet. So this thing should have had reverse in it. Instead of the acrobatic two-wheel bike thing, we should have, that's a 16-foot ruler, by the way. So I have to actually add the rest to get the 18.5 feet. So instead of having the acrobatic bike, we should have had a bike with reverse in it so that we could back up and, you know, to turn this bike around. Because right now I have to do it with my feet, which isn't hard, but it's a pain in the neck. So again, you know, that's why I said, before you buy this thing, give me a couple days with it, a week, whatever, and I will give you my honest opinion on this bike. So I don't owe Addmotor anything on this thing, so you're going to get my honest opinion out of it. Again, I'm showing you I can ride this thing as long as I want on two wheels. So if you're looking for that acrobatic bike, there it is, guys. You know, if that's the feature you're looking for, I did not buy this bike with this feature. I wanted a bike that was extremely stable. I was hoping I could get this thing out on the road. I was hoping this thing would be able to go a little bit faster, and I could go down the road and not have to worry about tipping over. This bike, I feel like I'm going to tip over very easily. The steering is super sensitive also when you're going down the road and you turn it. I can see potential of accidents happening with this thing. It's just a matter of time. In conclusion here, like I said, give me a couple of days to play with this bike, see what we can do about fixing this tippability problem. If it can be fixed, you'll get my 2 cents on it. You can decide whether or not this is something that you would want and have to make adjustments for. I think probably if you're going to drive this bike extremely slow, 5 miles an hour, whatever, it would be fine. You're not going to get killed on it or anything like that. But you know, put it up to, I think this bike says it does 15 miles an hour. I'm not sure I've seen 15 miles an hour on it yet, but if you were going down a hill or something, you're definitely going to gain some speed. Like I said, this thing is pretty tippy the way it is, so it's definitely a factor here. And I did not buy this bike to have it tippy, so I thought I was buying an extremely stable bike, and I'm not happy about it. So anyways, give me a couple of days. We'll do a full review on this bike. I'll show you all the features, and you can add it all up in your brain and decide whether or not this is something you want to get. So thanks guys for watching, and if you would please hit my subscribe button on the way out. And I do videos like this all the time, and if I keep this, which I know I am going to be, we'll be looking at this quite often. I've also got another reverse trike out there, so check that one out too. So all right guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. some tricks with the cameras here today, trying to get a good shot at what these front wheels are doing here that I don't like. So hopefully this will do it for us. All right, now we're going to try to go around the corner at 7 miles, 6.5, 5, 6 miles, 4 miles, 4 miles an hour. This thing is going over. So 6.5. Fortunately, it's probably not doing much for the camera. This is what it wants to do when you go around a corner, guys. That wheel just wants to come up. And I'm counterbalancing right now, and it's still going up. I'm leaning way to the right, and that right wheel came up anyways. I don't know if you guys can tell when I do this, I am leaning to the right now, and that wheel is still coming up. So this thing will go over really easy. Slight little adjustments make this thing . Just kind of cruising back and forth here, guys. Showing you what going a little bit at a time will do to this thing. I don't feel out of control, but doesn't give me that warm and fuzzy feeling either. I feel like an acrobat here or something. Let's go around this corner at 11 miles an hour. I'm leaning in on it. It didn't come up, but I was leaning pretty good. It's a little bit smaller neighborhood, so we can play a little bit. But yeah, steering on this thing is super, super. I don't know if you guys can get how sensitive it is. I mean, you could really wipe out pretty quick on this thing, I think. Yeah, this thing definitely needs some gears to it. I don't know, I mean, I don't know if I could get used to this, or whether it's just, I guess I'm gonna have to look into what it would cost to send this thing back. This thing would probably do all right on a rail trail, whatever, but because you'd be going, I don't know, 12 miles an hour, whatever, but I'm not loving this thing. I'm actually, I do have it in the highest pass. Goes up hills pretty good, but I'm all the way up in the 7th gear. This thing definitely needs some gears on it if you were gonna move, but I think this thing's designed for going really slow. because the stability of it is not here. Doesn't do it to that side, but it does do it to this side. It's got a little wobble to it when you go around the corner. This bike should have had reverse put on it.